This week's guest is comedian, radio host, and a man who's currently pretending to be Donald Trump on Twitter, Mr. Michael Legge. How are you, Michael?
I'm good. But here's the thing. If he doesn't exist on Twitter, then am I not Donald Trump? I mean, if I'm the person who says I'm Donald Trump now,
He doesn't a fair exist. Argument.
So I don't know if I am pretending to be Donald Trump. This is just, I'm a very, as you'll find out in this intense interview, I'm a very layered person, and that's just one of my many layers, being Donald Trump, being billionaire Donald Trump.
Is he a billionaire? I think that's disputed.
No. My Twitter character is billionaire Donald Trump. I don't know about that guy.
He doesn't exist.
You know what? I would hate to put words into his mouth. So I'll just my creation is billionaire Donald Trump. I know nothing about that
guy. The first thing I want to ask you, and it's, I don't want to start off too intense, but it's a question that I asked Robyn Hitchcock, and I imagine you'll have an interesting answer as well. That's what's your favourite Daphne and Celeste song?
Here's the thing, it gets intense, doesn't it? Because this is it. It will go on public record.
Yeah. I'll be adding it to your Wikipedia page as soon as this ends.
I think it probably is You and I Alone.
Oh.
I think it's firstly, it's the comeback single.
Yeah.
And it didn't sound too much like them. If you historically, it wasn't them going, everyone over the age of 20 is a cunt. Whatever it is that their output was. Sorry for swearing so early on in the podcast. So I'm going to go for You and I Alone. It's such a great pop song anyway. It's beautifully produced, and it didn't sound like them, and it sounded like them at the same time. And what was exciting was hearing them, their voice go, "Oh, that was them that shouted and abused grannies on buses," and they can pull off a little bit of a heartbreaker in there as well. What's yours?
Oh, mine. I really like Alarms off the new.
Oh, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
good. We're still calling it the new record, right?
The new record.
Yeah.
But I can tell you now, Robyn Hitchcock, your one-time comedy partner.
Sure.
he went with Who Stick You. He's old school through and through.
Yeah, I mean, if there, of course, Robyn would have to go for the oldest, dustiest track. I mean, if Daphne and Celeste had recorded that on Wax Cylinder, Christ Almighty, that'd be the greatest thing that ever happened to him. But we are big fans. Robyn and I are big fans. We're also more than that. We're big supporters. We, if you mention Daphne and Celeste out loud to any of the great unwashed, they'll go, "Oh yeah, it was brilliant when they got bottled at Reading," and that's when the onstage character of Michael Legge comes out. And I go, you didn't see that happen because it never happened. They did not get bottled. They got bottled. They did not get bottled off. Two totally different things.
Oh no, they kept going with like sort of ruthless resilience of like, no, we're gonna do this.
They did, and they laughed. They went, ha, look at you lot being that upset. It's if anything, I can't remember what age they were, probably about 17 or 18 really, weren't they? But when you think about it, if you're really, really young and you want to do the Reading Festival, when you think of how established the Reading Festival is, isn't that the best thing you can possibly do, but going there and annoying the fuck out of everyone? I mean, the Sex Pistols, because it was around about the same time the Sex Pistols were sort of reforming and doing tours, and they went on like this regal act, like they didn't hide the fact that they were doing it for the money, obviously, but the very fact that they came on, they may as well have been the Pink Floyd that they despised, sort of 3 decades earlier. But they come on with that's right, you must respect us now. And you go, oh, respect, that was never your thing. It's certainly not Daphne and Celeste thing. And I prefer that. I prefer going on stage. But, you know, that's another, that comes into comedy far too much. Go, oh, do you know what? The most respected comedians. Respected? What a fucking weird thing to aim for. Respect. Yeah. What does that get you? Who the fuck pissed themselves laughing at respect? Who, with the exception of Aretha Franklin, who puts a record on for respect, right?
Yeah.
Respect is meaningless. It gets you nothing. It might get you money, but it gets you nothing.
Yeah.
And that's my answer to the question, what is your favourite Daphne and Celeste song?
And just before we started, though, you did mention you got a care package.
I did get a care package from Daphne and Celeste. Isn't it? I mean, it is really nice to be cared for in my, you know, advanced stage by Daphne and Celeste. But it's a box of 80 of their albums. I wish I was joking. Yeah. In a way, I'm so glad I'm not joking. Because, you know, there was a knock on the door, and what had happened was I got a care package because my leg had exploded. I was in incredible pain, but I had to go and answer the door, which meant grabbing my crutches. It took me, you know, a long time to get up. Still does, but that's for different reasons. I'm quite lazy, and then I had to, in pain, get to the front door, and there was this huge box, which I then, with crutches, had to lift and take it. But of course, I knew it was from Daphne and Celeste, so I'm really excited. And there's their album that I own. And I've gone online and said, I love this album. And they've gone, yay, thanks. And there I am now with 80.
It's such a bizarre...
But I have given copies... Oh my God, I've given copies away. I haven't quite made a proper hole in the box of 80 yet, but I have, believe me, I've got tapes, CDs, I've got tapes, I've got signed tapes, I've got CDs, I've got signed CDs, I've got vinyl, I've got signed vinyl, I've got limited edition pink vinyl, which was the one I bought in the first place. So I'd already, you know, I'd gone top level. I had proven to Daphne and Celeste that I was a fan.
So you and I alone.
Yeah, it was just, they may as well have sent around with you alone. Mate, you.
You used to host a show called The Real Daniel O'Donnell Show.
Yeah, that was a live show.
Yeah.
I suppose I hosted it, yeah. Do you know what happened? It was a live show with 2 members of The Trap. Do you know The Trap? They're a sketch group.
Yeah, the name rings a bell. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the best, quite frankly, that there is. They're phenomenal. And also Margaret Caborn Smith and Zoe Gardner. So it was 5 of us doing a sketch show, and I had already done a sketch show with them, where I played Daniel O'Donnell in a sketch, and I don't know why I was just convinced. Look, that character can now be the host. Actually, it was just a pain in the arse. Do you know what it was? It was just being creepy and wearing far too many jumpers. It was just sort of that.
That's kind of the act, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only line that I can ever remember being good in it as the character of Daniel O'Donnell was I was the first thing we ever did was I was being interviewed by Dan Mersh of The Trap, and I go, oh, Daniel O'Donnell. So what does Daniel O'Donnell like to get up to? And I go, oh, I like to do lots of things. I like the theatre. And he goes, have you seen anything lately? And he goes, what, in the theatre? I go, yeah, oh, good, because we would have been there for ages. And I like the idea of Daniel O'Donnell just sitting there telling you what he's seen.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything he's seen.
A lovely puppy and a
Yeah,
nice granny.
Yeah, a lovely puppy and a sad puppy. Oh, Daniel, what have you done?
He just fascinates me. That is like my
Amazing.
nan was a fan of his, and
Right.
she was like in the fan club and would get these like printed Christmas cards every year, and
Got 80 albums a year
yeah,
in a
invites
box.
to his house for like picnics and stuff, and it was
Oh,
just,
brilliant.
I was just like, what is this? Like, and it's all sort of slightly religious and slightly
Yeah. Oh,
cuddly.
yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. I wouldn't say they're friends, but they're probably on nodding acquaintances. But my brother, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think he knows him.
Uh,
So, because my brother goes to Tenerife a lot, and that's where Daniel O'Donnell lives. So he sees, I guess he sees Daniel O'Donnell because, as you know, when anyone from over here goes to Tenerife, they visit maybe 2 or 3 buildings, and there's all people from the UK in these 2 or 3 buildings. They wouldn't dare go and actually see like part of Tenerife. So they're at, the Dog and Duck in Tenerife or something like that, and Daniel's always there, and he would tell me this all the time. Just go, oh yeah, and Daniel's brilliant, and I've told him about the real Daniel O'Donnell show, so he knew about the real Daniel O'Donnell show, and we did get Daniel O'Donnell fans coming to it. I remember when we did our Edinburgh run. Dan Tetzel, who the writer, actor, performer, Dan Tetzel, he was sitting in the audience, and just as the lights went down, just suggest the show was about to start, this row of slightly older people, probably my age now, just went, oh, so excited! I can't believe they've done a show about Daniel O'Donnell. And you just think, like, Dan had to sit there, and go, oh my God, what is the next hour going to be like for them? Because it was just the entire show that we did in Edinburgh was supposed to be like a Twilight Zone thing where just bullshit happened. Like there's a time travel sketch, and this inventor of a time machine proves that his time machine works by going into it, stepping back out, and the 2 people watching going, well, nothing happened. Goes, I went back in time, and then I returned to the time we're at now. Go, well, nothing happened. Go, check your pockets. And they put their hands down, and there's shit in their pockets. So what they must have thought of that, who knows? But my point is, so my brother sort of, I guess, vaguely knew him, and he'd talk about Daniel and go, oh yeah, I was at Tenerife, and I saw Daniel, blah 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 blah, and I did sort of wonder, like, why would you know Daniel? Why would Daniel O'Donnell be in a pub? I understand he's got a house in Tenerife, but surely that's his retreat. He gets away from his home in Donegal, and he goes there, and he probably writes his little hymns or whatever it is. He doesn't mingle with people. He's famous. Why would he do that? Fuck me. When I went to I've been to Tenerife once. I don't think I can go back. It was such a weird experience. I didn't see Daniel going, oh, Daniel's not around. And that's when I went, yeah, right, because he's never here. My brother's a bullshit liar. I'm not kidding you. In the pub where he drank, Daniel O'Donnell, I mean, not my brother, there were signs up saying, we're so sorry to hear the death of Daniel O'Donnell's mother, and then named her. And the reason he wasn't there was because he was at home at his mom's funeral. But the pub had signs up about Daniel O'Donnell's mum. There's a cult of Daniel O'Donnell.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's it's like I say, there's creepy, too many jumpers, too many sad puppies. Yeah. Kind of, there's something not right.
The fact that you can get a bus to his house and he'll make you a cup of tea is, I wouldn't drink anything that I was given by that man.
Yes. How many of those pensioners are coming back from those picnics?
He's the original COVID.
You you do well. Pre-COVID, you do a lot of warm up for comedy TV shows like 8 Out.
I haven't done it. I haven't done it in years. I haven't done it in years. I mean, everything I've done it has been watching people get famous. I've witnessed a lot of great success. None of it mine. I managed to avoid all of that. But I did telly warm up really, really early on. I mean, my first gig was telly warm up. But I did it because I didn't know I wanted to do stand up, and I didn't really know anything. Who's to say I know anything yet? But I didn't know that I even wanted to be a performer. And it sounds really bad, but like I thought, well, there's no skill involved in telly warm up. I mean, that was a real fucking kick up the arse, because it's a nightmare when you're doing telly warm up for like 8 out of 10 cats or one of those shows, and a light goes in the studio. Okay, it'll take us 15 minutes to fix that light. Can we get the warm up man on? And me, the warm up man, goes on, and I'm in front of Sean Locke, for instance, and I'm trying to do jokes to, I don't know, 300 people who were stretching to see behind me so they can see Sean Locke scratch his nose. Because him scratching his nose, to be fair, is funnier than any joke that I'll possibly do. But yeah, it's a really, really, really intensely hard job.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenally thankless.
Because that's basically what I was going to ask, was like, how does that make you feel as a comedian? It's like, because...
Well, I mean, I'm sure you can imagine this. When you first do warm up, everyone talks about this one thing. They go, you're doing warm up. That's a great stepping stone to getting on the show. When the fuck has that ever happened? Like that is insane. Anyway, it certainly never happened with me. Certainly. But that's all you believe. You believe, okay, right, I'm having a shit time. But you know what? Like, there's producers here, and they could see. Do you think the producer even knows you're in that building? The producer is in a room with 6 telly screens, none of which you're on, actually looking at an empty set, seeing where Jimmy Carr's going to sit, seeing where, Sean Locke's going to sit. They're way more interested in empty chairs that are going to be filled by brilliant comedians rather than, you working your arse off to a load of people who absolutely are actually there to not see you specifically. They left the house to come to that room to not see you. And you're fucking there doing the exact opposite of what they were there to do.
It's how I always felt. I got booked. I did stand up for a few years, and I got booked a few times to do like burlesque gigs, and like a sort of amateur level burlesque. They don't want to see some fat guy trying to be funny when they know that there's boobs coming. Like like you said, they're like, come on, yes, yeah, whatever. That's your punchline. Get the fuck off the stage so I can see what I've come for.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a few gigs in strip clubs. I mean, and when you die in a strip club, you just sort of go, you came here on the wrong night. This isn't my fault. You all came here to, to at least put something in the wank bank for later. And now you've got me absolutely ruining your well planned out wank that you're going to have in an hour's time. And this is not on me. Because even when you get heckled in a strip club with "you're not funny," it's like, do you know what? I don't think you were here for laughter. I don't. I think even if I was funny, you'd be fucking furious. Because, it's so hard to wank and laugh. That's not true. I've done it loads of times. I would like that stricken from the record. It's really easy to laugh at one.
It's not as easy as wanking and crying, though. That's the.
No way. No. No. It's really off-putting. And it puts you off both. Because the lovely release of a good cry, totally ruined by a wank. Yeah. That's why you rarely do it at funerals. It's got to be a hot corpse. That's what I say. That is my answer to the question. What is your favorite Daphne Celeste song?
It's just one long answer.
Yeah.
Back to people that you're a fan of. I know you're a big fan of Robyn Hitchcock, and you went through a phase of making a dickhead of yourself every time you met him.
I don't know if that phase is over yet.
I was going to say I was going to ask if there's been any more to that, or if there's been a conclusion.
Right. Well, here's the thing. This is. Shall I fill you in on a couple of things that have happened?
Yeah, I was going to say probably because I know a few of them, but if you want to start,
well, I'm a huge fan of the musician Robyn Hitchcock. I absolutely love him. He's sort of he writes absolutely superb songs, but if you want a lazy sort of way into to what he might be like in your head if you've not heard of him, he's sort of Syd Barrett and Bob Dylan all rolled into one. But to me, he's uniquely Robyn Hitchcock. I love him, but I think pretty much every single time I've been in his company, something disastrous has happened, and I've been in his company too many times. Not my words, his. I think the very first time I was ever in the room with him was I was standing next to him at a urinal, and I know I spoke to him then. That can't have been good. You can't tell someone how great they are when they've got their dick out. That's a rule. That's a rule. But that didn't stop me. But that wasn't really the big thing. The big thing was he did a solo acoustic gig, and I treated it like it wasn't just seeing Metallica. It was like seeing Metallica on their first album, still doing the clubs. It was like he's acoustic. I'm on the stage going, fuck yeah! And then jumping back into the audience. Just a horrible person. But I'm so excited at seeing him. I just lose it. He tells me to fuck off. He finds me after the gig to tell me to fuck off. So it's and he was right to do that. So anyway, the next time I saw him, he was doing a gig at a place called the 12 Bar Club in Denmark Street in London, which I don't think exists anymore. I don't even think Denmark Street exists. Never mind the venue. And the venue's quite a weird venue. It's very, very, very small. But if you're downstairs, there's a balcony inside the room. If you're downstairs, you can sort of only see the bottom half of the performer because it's such a weird angle. So if you're really into, your favorite artist's knees, you go downstairs. But if you want to see their face, you've got to go upstairs. But you can't see anything. You can't really see Robyn play the guitar because you can't really see his guitar. You can only see his face. And what I did was I saw him at this gig and I went up and I apologized to him. And he took the apology very solemnly. He went, and he went, were you on something? And I went, I wish I could say that I was on drugs, but I wasn't. I was just a bit pissed. And I was so excited to see you. There's no excuse. I ruined your gig. And I'm so sorry. And he went, never, ever do that again. And I went, no way is that going to happen. And I thought, this gig, I'm going to go upstairs to the balcony far away from him. And I even went to technically the second row of the balcony. There's only one guy in front of me. There's a row of people, obviously, but one guy in front of me. And at the end of one of Robyn's songs, this guy in front of me gets up to go to the loo. But when he gets up, he kicks his empty beer bottle off the balcony. It hits someone and then smashes on the ground. There's a big scream, and Robyn Hitchcock looks up. We make eye contact, and I'm like, no, it's not. It wasn't me. And there was just too many occasions after that. To cut long story short, I was having an argument inside a motel room in San Francisco about how I wanted to see Robyn Hitchcock, who was playing a gig somewhere in San Francisco, and the argument about whether or not I could go and see Robyn Hitchcock, because I was with someone else on holiday. I shouldn't be dragging them to see an artist they don't give a shit about. The argument escalated, and I went, it's fine, we won't go. And then she said, oh, okay, we'll go, which to me is the worst thing you can do. If you've argued for so long and then you've given in, the other person can't also give in, because then that means the whole thing's been meaningless. And I lose my shit. And I just went, no, fuck this. And I opened the door of the motel, which, as you know, a motel is outdoors as soon as you open. And I opened the door and went, and fuck Robyn Hitchcock. And he was standing right there.
It's international now.
It's phenomenal. So, and here's the thing: the last time I was in the room with him, I brought him 2 bottles of wine, because after everything that we've been through, and I've apologized so much, and he's been so nice, especially recently, going, look, it's in the past, but there was a time I hated you. Right? Imagine your favorite artist saying that to you. Imagine like Elvis telling you there was a time when I hated you. Well, that's my Elvis. My Elvis told me there was a time he hated me. Imagine Elvis knowing you, and he knew you because he hated you. That's what happened to me. So Robyn became, I guess he became very understanding about it. I definitely am sorry for everything. And I don't just mean the stuff I've done to Robyn Hitchcock. I mean every fucking thing. I am sorry for everything. Bought him 2 bottles of wine. He's got 2 cats. I found wine where the label was a picture of 2 cats in spacesuits. And I thought, he's going to love this.
Yeah.
So I brought him this wine. And he went, oh, Michael Legge. And that's unnerving, isn't it? When your idol says your name. Because it's like, I have you on record up here.
Yeah, and it's not like, oh, Michael Legge!
Right, no, there was none of that. Oh, Michael Legge. It was so wary. And I went, Robyn, I'm not going to take up any of your time. Here's 2 bottles of wine. You went, oh, thanks very much. And then I just left. Because I went, he's got the wine. I've given him his wine. I've apologized. He accepted the apology, way before this. And isn't that great? And I stupidly fucking ruined it the next day by messaging him on Twitter going, you did a song that I've never heard before. And you performed it right at the beginning of what was it? And it was a song by Bob Dylan called Not Dark Yet. And I went, God, honestly, it's beautiful. I love it. I've never heard that song before. And he just went, thanks. Because I thought, oh, that's a bit weird, because I thought we were getting on. I would have thought, oh, that's really nice of you.
Yeah.
Thanks just seemed a bit. And then I realized it's on one of his albums. And I've just told him I've never heard. And my only get out of jail card with Robyn Hitchcock is I'm his biggest fan. So I basically went out of my way to tell him, I don't really know you as well as you think. Ha-ha! Ha-ha, mate. Joke's on you. Because I don't even really know your stuff. So even when I try to be nice, I fuck it up. So I don't think it's over, Mike. That's the answer.
Do you think there will ever be like a moment where you can just be friends with him, or you can just maybe just stop being a fan of his?
Oh, well, listen, here's the thing. It's going to be way easier to stop being a friend, right? Just because here's the thing. We've always got on me and his records. Like his records have never said a word to me. And I've treated them not so well over the years. You know, I've probably put cups on them and stuff.
Yeah.
I've never put a cup on Robyn Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. I'm admitting this to you. I would not admit this to Robyn Hitchcock, but I was really jealous when they became friends. Properly fucking pissed off. And I knew they had long conversations. You know, fucking long conversations with fucking Robyn Hitchcock. Pissed me off. And also, I can't remember what Robyn and I were doing. Robyn Ince, I mean, not Hitchcock. Yeah. But something came up about a Robyn Hitchcock song. And Robyn Ince just went, oh yeah, that's blah, blah, blah from blah, blah, blah album. And I went, I could have said that. I know what it was. We were recording a podcast with Robyn Hitchcock, and he did one of his songs live in front of us. And I was like, well, that's Cheese Alarm from the album Star for Brown. And I just went, well, I've got that in my head. So when this is over, I can say that. And there's Robyn Ince, not even fucking paying attention, on his phone. Well, this great song is happening in front of us. And then at the end of the song, Robyn Ince just goes, oh, that's brilliant. I love the Cheese Alarm from, of course, Star for Brown. I'm like, that's the one thing I could have said. And of course, Robyn had been on his fucking phone finding out what the fucking song was. Piece of shit. I'm spitefully jealous of their relationship. I'm in no way jealous that Robyn Hitchcock is a friend of Robyn Ince, who is my friend. You know how that sometimes when your friend gets a new friend, no, it's the other way around. No, fucking have him. Have Robyn Hitchcock can have Robyn Ince. But Robyn Ince cannot have Robyn Hitchcock. He's mine, and he's always been mine.
I look forward to finding out how that unfolds over the years. Because I feel like it's going to keep happening until one of you dies.
I do think that probably what's going to happen is Robyn Hitchcock's going to get really old, and you know he might feel, as you know, it happens when you get incredibly old, that every day gets harder and harder and harder physically, and maybe he'll just end up going to Dignitas, and he'll be lying in his Dignitas bed, and he'll be thinking to himself, do you know what? I can't do this. I actually still have stuff to live for. I'm an intelligent man. I've got great songs, and I can write more great songs. I don't know why I'm here. And then through some twist of fate, I'll accidentally walk into the room and fall onto the machine and kill him.
Yeah, that's the only way.
I'm going to say it now. And you can have this. I've killed Robyn Hitchcock. You can have that now, because it will happen. And there's my confession. I've killed him.
I was going to say, so it's bordering on a threat without the context of the rest of the comments.
Yeah.
I've killed Robyn Hitchcock.
Yeah, I have. I've done it. I have done it. If we all think of, you know, how wibbly wobbly time is, then I guess I've already done it, haven't I?
Or of a version of you in a parallel universe.
Oh yeah, oh no, I'm in all of the parallel universes. I've killed him loads of times. That's the only one thing that completely is the same in all parallel universes. I kill Robyn Hitchcock in every single one of them, even the one where I am Robyn Hitchcock.
But does Robyn Hitchcock become you and kill you in that one? Or do you? Or is it Harry Carey?
Yeah, do you know what'll happen? I'll be Robyn Hitchcock, but I'll just follow this guy around, telling him how much I love him. This poor guy called Michael Legge who just wants to. I don't even know who you are, mate. I love you. Knocking on his door at 4 a.m. Yeah. There's no way out. There's never any way out.
Michael, thank you so much for your time. Have you got anything anywhere you want to send people? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're interested at all, if you want to talk to me about Daphne and Celeste, because my favorite song will have changed by the time this goes out. So if you want an update on what my favorite song is, do get in touch on Twitter. at Michael Legge.
Or if you want to buy a copy of their album, because apparently you've got.
Don't go to their website. I've got loads of them, and I will undercut them. I will undercut Daphne and Celeste. But also, keep an eye out at Go Faster Stripe. My book, Strawberries to Pigs, is coming out. Wish I could give you a date, but it is on its way.
That's everything that Chris does. It's like, I've been working on this for 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, I'm about to start recording the audiobook tomorrow, so I'm assuming it's going out.
Love Go Faster Stripe.
They're brilliant. Yeah. I love Chris. He's great.
I did an interview with. I think I'm one of the only people that's ever interviewed Chris, and he's going to put it on the new website. So I'm really excited about that. I'm like,
that's brilliant.
I'm on Go Faster Stripe now.
Brilliant. Well, you beat me to it.
Yeah.
So that's coming out, and it's mainly my views on social media and the fact that I think it's about time I apologize for inventing online anger. So it was all my fault, and look where we fucking are now.
You've done a lot of harm.
Yeah, and I'll continue if I'm not stopped. So.
Brilliant. Michael, thank you ever so much.
Thanks, mate.
Day 1, line 2, found 3 cassettes of you explaining what to do if they were found.
You have to embarrass yourself, Mark.